Hi, it's Paul Sipko with Selene Yachts Americas, and we're here with Mark and Roseanne on their Selene 60. Where are we right now?
We are in Ladysmith, which is northwest of Victoria, on Vancouver Island. Maybe a third of the way from Victoria to Campbell River, that's kind of right in the middle of Vancouver Island. So, wonderful little logging and industrial town.
Yeah. And where have you guys been on this trip so far, and where are you headed?
Well, this one is a little bit shorter than our typical. We're usually aboard for at least a month, if not, well, in 22 it was 5 months. But just other commitments, family things, that kind of stuff. We're just doing a little bit slower. But my daughter and son-in-law also bought a small boat, and they wanted to cruise with us. So we spent the last week buddy boating with my daughter and son-in-law and my two grandchildren, two grandsons.
In the San Juans.
In the San Juan Islands, which are fabulously beautiful. And we're raising a couple of boat nuts. The grandkids are already, the little guy said to me he's going to save his tooth fairy money and buy a boat. We went to the 2003, well, you didn't eventually, the 2003 Seattle Boat Show, and we saw our first Selene 53 we had seen. It was then called China Moon, now called Velvet Moose. With brand new. Yep. Brand new, and I was so impressed with the boat. Just a whole bunch of different things about it. I called Roseanne and I said, you need to come back with me tomorrow and see this boat.
We lived in Portland.
So it was a couple hour drive, 2.5, 3 hour drive down to Portland.
Yeah.
So we came back, I think it was the next day, if I remember right. And she wandered around China Moon, and I knew the deal was done when she came up and said, I will go with you at this point. So we placed an order, I don't know, it was a month or two later, maybe, for a Selene 50, primarily because we were sharing a dock with our neighbor and there was some limitations on the moorage. And so I just didn't think we could do anything bigger than that. We ordered the 50, and in, I don't know, early 2003, because the boat show is in January or February, so ordered it in early 2003 and got it in August 2004. Cruised the boat. The big turning point was going around Vancouver Island with a group of other Selene owners, including John and Kathy on Mystic Moon. It totally changed her attitude about cruising, and definitely sort of opened my eyes to it. And it was actually on that trip, 2005, that Howard had sent me some of the early drawings of the Selene 59, called it at that point. I loved the design as soon as I saw it. We were actually going down the west coast of Vancouver together, a bunch of us, and I was chatting with several of the other owners about, this 59 is amazing. Amazing boat. I don't remember who it was. I think one of the other owners said, Mark's gonna buy a 59. I said, no, I'm not gonna buy that boat. This is a fine boat. Well, long story short, we made a bet with the Youngbloods, which I'm gonna go on video here, that if we bought a boat within
The next 5 years.
5 years, was it right? 5 years, and it bigger than 57 or something like that we owed them dinner anywhere in the world. But I had to get them themselves, but we owed them dinner, and they won that bet.
Yeah.
We still hadn't paid them off. So we started building this one in, 2007. Yeah.
It was January 2007.
Yeah, somewhere 2007. And I learned a whole bunch cruising and building the first 50. And we learned a lot about, and cruising with John and Kathy learned a lot about what we wanted and didn't want. So we made a number of customizations to this boat, and she's been just nearly perfect for us. I mean, there are very few things I would change. So, yeah. And we've had her, this is 16 years now.
Wow.
What's up? 20, what did I figure?
It's only 22.
23,000 miles, you know.
Yeah.
Just a couple of years ago, went out to the Kenai Peninsula across the Gulf of Alaska. It's about a 48-hour open ocean run. My wonderful wife stood watch by herself, and, you know, just the two of us crossed that Gulf. And
Not about this far.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
all the way across.
At 2 o'clock in the morning, it was like this. So,
So we're gonna do a little tour of your boat. Where are we now? And tell us a little bit about this space.
this is the Flybridge. It was one of the things we loved about the boat because we can seat 8 people around this big table up here. We have ours all enclosed because in the Northwest, you know, we have a lot of wet, cooler days. But with it all enclosed like this, we can use this space all year. Have it very comfortable. It's heated up here if we need it. And so, yeah, it's probably our primary entertaining area, at least for larger groups. We carry a 13-foot Avon dinghy with a great steelhead davit to get it off. Yeah.
How do you like having stairs from the Flybridge to the cockpit?
I really like it now. I will admit that when we first had it, the boat had the kind of standard rail with a canvas doghouse over it. And I really didn't like that because it was too difficult to open and close. And it was hard, it leaked. And so eventually I actually had a guy fabricate a hard fiberglass hatch, which makes it just a whole lot easier.
So it's basically water resistant, waterproof, water resistant, whatever it is.
It's waterproof. I mean, it's really great when we're launching the dinghy because one of the things I loved about the design is that the davit is placed in the aft corner so we can actually pick the dinghy up and launch it right over the swim step. So you're just basically stepping from the swim step onto the dinghy. And that davit placement makes that really easy. So,
And we did the 53 style Pilothouse here. It's the TV.
our pilot house is a little bit different than the standard 60. The standard 60 has a Pullman watch berth that folds down and a larger, more round kind of settee table. In the older ones, it wasn't as high, and so we liked the fact that this one's up high enough you can have great sight lines looking out. And we actually enjoy. I just this morning took a nap in the watch berth as we launched our daughter and son-in-law at 5 this morning, and I needed a little bit more shut-eye, so the watch berth was great. The layout for the rest of the pilot house is pretty standard.
Yeah.
Sometimes people put 2 helm chairs up here and will eliminate this bank of drawers. But with the higher settee, Roseanne didn't feel like she needed a pilot chair up there because she can see so well from the
I just have my computer out over here. Do what I want to do.
Yeah.
Whatever I do up here.
Well, and now it's Starlink browsing interests. Yeah.
Probably the best things that I like about my Galley and I designed in, because in my 50 we had this, and it is a spice cabinet. And then afterwards, other ones, they didn't have this built in. I'm not going to give that up. So how we put this yet. And then we have drawer fridges. This is where the big fridge would go, but we did drawer fridges because it's so easy to just open something and, it's not flying all over the place and you don't have to hang on to it and try and pull something out from the back, like you're hanging under the door.
Managing the doors in a seaway can be really challenging.
Yeah. And so, I've got over in here. This is a huge pantry. All kinds of pots and pans and pantry stuff and all that stuff. So this is a fridge, a freezer, and 2 fridges over here. So,
Okay.
yeah. And the rest of it.
What's your favorite meal to cook on the boat?
Oh, I think probably. Well, I really like it. What is yours?
That's your amazing seafood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or
Mine's-
fresh halibut.
Yeah.
Your
Oh, the prawns.
prawns
The
are
fresh prawns.
Okay, we're not. All right, so we. Not making the top 5.
Yeah, yeah.
It's anything we just caught.
Yeah, right.
Perfect. And how do you guys use the salon?
This is kind of when it's just the 2 of us. This is generally where we'll have meals, play games.
Tree of these.
There's a pop-up TV and heater one. And before Starlink, I had a whole bunch of digitized movies on a big nasty ride that's kind of becoming obsolete.
And tell us a little bit about the table.
This is what they call a magic leash.
It's called, yeah.
So it basically self-stores the leaf, and they do a beautiful job with the woodwork so that it matches up.
And it goes down to see
And you can raise it up and down.
Alright, so we have a full 7-foot cube freezer right here. Comes in, modified all kinds of things here, and we've got a thing to hold it up so you can dig. Oh, what the best part Howard does. See, put that down, and so you could reach in there. So it's really
That's huge.
Yeah, it's great. So, and then
We just thought that was more utilitarian than the built-in freezer.
Yeah.
Get more space, and you can replace that freezer for the cost of one service call.
this is washer. This is the dryer washer. So that's, and then a huge pantry. I don't look in here because I threw all kinds of stuff in here too. But this whole thing is pantry.
How much do you guys use laundry on the boat?
Well, we have to run the generator if it's not
Oh,
like 50. Yeah.
But we, what? No, we,
Once a week. Oh,
yeah,
yeah. And then there's a sink right here.
little utility sink I use for changing water filters and that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So here's the master.
Yeah, master stateroom's a fairly standard layout. I think if we were doing it again, we would probably actually take this little makeup table out and just put a higher bank of drawers in here. We don't really use the table much, so
Other than the dumps for the pillows and,
yeah,
clothes, all kinds of stuff on it.
sure.
Yeah.
We did the head and shower are pretty much the standard. The one thing we did do there is that we put electric floor tape heat on the floors. They're really nice, even when it's warm weather like this. The marble tile can be pretty cold, or granite tile, and so that electric floor heat just brings the temperature up enough to make it really nice and comfy when you go in there in the middle of the night with bare feet.
Very nice. How's the boat been for storage for you guys?
Well, that was one of the things that we worked on quite a bit when we did the build.
Yeah, that's the storage.
We took out, for example, the sort of typical layout is a desk in here,
But both of these are all storage.
full height lockers. It was again kind of the goal of being able to be self-sufficient for long-term cruising, and so storage. We just felt like we never use a desk down here. We want to be up in the pilot house where we can see something, and so just using that space for more storage made more sense for us.
Yeah.
I really liked the design that Howard did with this forward head with 2 doors, so that if there's just one other couple with us, we could actually close this door off, and they have a private access from the forward stateroom. But then if they're, like we had the grandkids aboard, that kind of thing, then you have 2 doors to access the head. So that works really well for us.
And how did people like your VIP guest suite?
No, we've had very positive feedback. There's been an argument about whose name gets to put on the door, So
Here's the other door.
yeah, into the head that way.
Yeah. Great. Okay.
The upstairs.
So the second set of stairs just gives us the ability to close this door off and have completely private access to the master, which is really great. So, you want to go? Yeah. So while the utility room is what sold Roseanne about, the engine room sold me. There's nothing like an engine room where you can stand up full height, get all the way around the engine. I can get access to everything around it. I tend to do most of my own maintenance. And so just access to stuff is really, really important to me. If it's hard to access, it's less likely you're going to maintain it. And so that was really valuable to me. We have a John Deere 12.5 liter engine, which is really, frankly, a much bigger engine than the boat needs. It has a unit injector fuel system that everybody told me was a really bulletproof fuel system. And so we chose to use this engine in spite of the fact that it is definitely bigger than the boat needs. But it's been extremely reliable. We've got about 3,700 hours on the engine and really done nothing to it apart from normal maintenance.
Can you talk a little bit about your fuel economy and your range?
Yeah, we carry 2,000 gallons, 1,000 gallons on each side saddle tanks. Over the 15, 16 years we've owned it, I've kept detailed logs. And pretty much over all the conditions, it ends up averaging out to be about 1.3 nautical miles per gallon. And that's at more typical kind of 7.5 to 8 knot cruising speeds. If we slow down to 6.5, we've got 4,000 miles of range. At 7.5 to 8, we're talking about 3,000, something like that in that range. So we've never felt range challenged at all. In fact, a couple of my friends call us their fuel barge. Yeah.
And what else do we have in here?
Well, we have a 25 kilowatt generator because we don't have a wing engine. We have a hydraulic get home. So the generator has a power takeoff that drives a hydraulic unit down here that will spin the main shaft if we lose our main engine. And frankly, the best thing about it is it makes a fabulous trolling motor. We love to fish. You can see the fishing poles on the roof here. So the get home makes a fabulous trolling motor. It gets us, we can get down to about a knot, something like that, and up to about 4 on the get home.
So balanced stern thruster, stabilization.
Balanced stern thrusters, a hydraulic windlass, 12 square foot key power stabilizers, which I've been very happy with, basically completely trouble free. The get home system is hydraulic. We also run a hydraulic alternator over there that is primarily because the situations where we run our house bank low and have a short run, even my big single Volvo alternator, especially when it's turning at the relatively low speeds that this engine runs, it just can't generate enough current. And so that hydraulic alternator can supplement it, and the two actually work together very well. And we can pump 250 amps, 300 amps into our house bank using that. Now,
The boat arrived.
it's getting cool and even a little dark up there. But this is another part that really sold me on the boat. I like to do most of my own maintenance. Storage is really significant, and so all of my spares, equipment, parts, that kind of thing are in here. I have a large toolbox in here, actually two of them. And then Howard built me a wonderful stainless steel workbench over there with a vise. So we're in pretty good shape in terms of being able to take care of any issues we encounter along the way. We have our 1,200 gallon a day water maker back here, a diesel furnace in the aft corner there, the compressors for the air conditioning, and then we equipped the boat to be prepared for international shore power as well. And so there's a power converter, frequency converter there, tucked in behind the rudder post that will take virtually any power from about 90 to 400 volts and 40 to 70 hertz and turn it into nice stable 60 hertz 240. I love the stern door in the 60 design. Loved my 50, but I always had nightmares of carrying 5-gallon jugs of dirty motor oil up through the stateroom and out through the salon. Just nightmares of the handle coming off and spilling dirty motor oil all over the place. And with this stern door, I can do all of that kind of maintenance service, access to the engine room directly and easily. It's just a huge feature.
Where are we now?
We are out on the bow, ahead of the Portuguese bridge. Here's the half-height Portuguese bridge. That's a fabulous feature for going any place to sea, just protection. And we love it actually with the grandkids because they can run around the Portuguese bridge and the side decks without having any access that's dangerous. But this settee out here on a cool evening like this is pretty fabulous.
And two,
Yeah. You guys have excellent light up to the VIP guests berth as well, it looks like.
2 giant chain lockers up there that we have 400 feet of chain, and I can still stand on each one. I can stand on top of the pile of chain and close the hatch.
Well, do you guys have any parting words for someone who wants to go cruising in general, and also for someone who's considering a boat and why they might want to consider a Selene?
Oh my.
But we've been in some pretty rough weather in this, and we have had no concerns about the boat being able to handle it. Is whether we can handle it is the question.
Yeah, I've just, having both cruised this boat and a number of other Selenes pretty much all over the world and in a variety of conditions, never felt like the Selene was in danger of, not taking care of us Just like Roseanne said, it's really more about how much we want to take as compared to what the boat can take. And so, yeah, I loved it. You know, came from a sailing background, and so speed wasn't a huge issue anyway. And they're just so much more comfortable given the weight and the long keel than a lighter, faster boat. There's just really, someone wisely said, there's no replacement for displacement. Weight just makes a boat much more comfortable and seaworthy. So we enjoy being on her.
Wonderful. I want to jump in with you guys.
Do it.
And just want to thank you guys for taking the time to share your boat with everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and also appreciate all that you guys have done for helping the Selene community in many ways and many Selene owners over the years. So thank you guys very much for that.
We love it. We love the community. That's a big part for us, is the community.
Yeah.
So,
Well, thank you guys.
absolutely. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks for
Hope you have a wonderful trip up to Desolation Sound and keep on cruising.
Yeah.
You got it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.